Our next question is from Theo in France.
My name is Theo. I am a Patreon subscriber from France. Thanks to my parents, I had the chance to study in Santa Monica, California for 3 years. It was such an amazing experience. Being with myself in a foreign country for a while really helped me to figure out who I am and what I want to do with my life. Sadly, my dad passed away a few months after I came back home. It's been 4 years already and I feel like it happened yesterday. I haven't accepted completely that he's gone. I have a lot of regrets about being away for such a long time and not spend this time with him. There are so many things that I wish I had said to him. Do you have any advice on how to move on with my life? How can I let go of these regrets?
I think Theo's touching on something that most of us deal with at some point. My mother died. It was the whole start of this minimalist thing. I was with Ryan when my mother died, and I was 28 at the time. And I was actually in the car with Ryan when I got the phone call. I was flying down to Florida. I was literally on Terminal Drive in Dayton, Ohio, when I got this phone call. And I think some of the greatest regrets in my life at one point were not spending more time, or here are all the things I should have done or could have done, I wish I would have done. And that's where Theo is right now. And it's really hard to move on if you haven't let go of that. I recently started reading a book by B.J. Miller and Shoshana Beyer, Beginner's Guide to the End. And in there, they interview a palliative care physician named Dr. Ira Beilock. And he talks about the 4 things that he encourages people to say to someone when that person is dying, or even if they have died, say it to that person. And these 4 things really helped me out. The first thing was, please forgive me for my indiscretions, for the things, for the ways that I've wronged you, intentionally, unintentionally. Please forgive me. Second thing is, I forgive you. And how powerful is that, right? That's part of the letting go. Please forgive me. I forgive you. The next thing was, thank you. Just simply thank you. Thank you for being you, for being in my life, for being this expression of love and joy for this period of time that we've had together. And the fourth thing is, I love you. And expressing those things has helped me let go, not just of my mother and her previous form, but let go of the clinging to, I wish I would have done things differently. If I just would have done X, Y, and Z, then things would have been perfect or better or whatever, right? The fifth thing he talked about that he's learned after dealing with a lot of dying people is, he said, I've even dealt with 60, 70-year-old men, and the one thing they can't get over is their father never said, I'm proud of you. And holding on to that, I wish my father would have just said, I'm proud of you. So if you're a father or mother or caregiver listening to this, maybe telling your son or daughter right now that, hey, I'm proud of you, the way it doesn't haunt them the rest of their lives. Zach, what do you have to say about this question from Theo?
Great stuff. That's the Ho'oponopono prayer that you just outlined in those 4 steps. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And those 4 steps of this ancient Hawaiian prayer have been used for millennia to resolve wars and to resolve conflict at the, kind of superstructure of, as well as in relationship and within the individual. And I think it's down at that individual level that the prayer becomes most powerful. When was the last time you said, I am sorry to yourself, to your soul, for having put so many other things in front of yourself? I have so disregarded my own sacred soul, the infinite within me, by building a whole metric of success or a metric of value in myself and putting everything else before my own soul, my own connection to that soul. And so that Ho'oponopono prayer is so powerful to begin it yourself. And then I think you get to tell your loved one who's dying a more clean version of that, because ultimately most of the crap that we're going to ask for forgiveness or forgive is actually within ourselves and not our relationship to that person. We've projected so much on that relationship of our internal journey that we are refusing to understand as our own. And so in these relationships of family is such a challenging landscape emotionally, right? We all have challenges of communication and how do you stay for decades with this group of people that are your family when you're on extraordinarily different pathways? So what does that look like and all this? And so forgiving yourself, beginning in that, I am sorry, I forgive you, thank you, and I love you, to self, and just stay in the joy that comes out of that for a minute, and then take it to your loved one and say, wow, I just experienced this inside myself. I have freedom within myself right now, and I want you to feel my freedom when I say, please forgive me, or I forgive you. I want you to feel my freedom in my exchange of that. And when I say thank you and I love you, I want you to feel the sincerity, the vibration, because I did the work inside first. And so death can be one of these things where we are thrust into these deep communications. But if we don't begin at self, we maybe miss this little opportunity that we have to clear the slate internally and then move into this exchange of being witness to somebody who's just on that veil and crossing and back and forth across the veil. What a powerful moment to say, I remember everything. I know. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I forgive you. But know as you go into the infinite that I am here and I love you and I love myself and I am free. And the vibration that's set up across the quantum space at that point, resolves any need for the psychotherapy and all the hundreds of hours on the couch, because it's a true letting go. It's the true dumping of that water crystal you were asking about earlier. Mm-hmm. And so that Ho'oponopono prayer is a super powerful one there. But in regards to his question of, I don't feel like I can let go of my father, there's a deep misperception that we are actually separate from Father,
Yes.
And so this is where the clinging can become its own problem. By clinging to the memory of your father, you're not allowing your father to express itself within you. You have Father within you. You have Mother. You may not have even known your father in this lifetime, and Father is within you. There's a whole line of patriarchy in your past. There's a whole line of matriarchy in your past, and it is expressing itself. And now that we know about genetics, it's so literal. It's so literal. What we have here in our bodies is an incredible data bank of the memory of everything. And genetics is constantly updating itself to experience the now and put it into the genetic record. And so it's a beautiful journey as a biologic being of remembrance at the atomic level, really down within you. And so your father is within you. And by letting go of the construct of the memory and letting it be the reality, let go of remembering and become it. Become your father. Become that energetic translation of your father within you. And you're going to meet your father in a whole new way, because it's going to start acting through you. It's not going to be a memory of the past. It's going to be an active, present moment experience of Father. And that's going to really be an incredible way to honor your father and to experience the Father within you.
Did you enjoy this standalone Patreon highlight? If so, you can listen to full episodes of the Minimalist Private Podcast, available exclusively on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/theminimalists or click the link in the description. Your support keeps our podcast and YouTube channel 100% advertisement free.